I'm 34, born and raised in Queens, now living in Astoria. My wife Lauren and I have been together a little over 9 years, married for 6. No kids yet. We were trying in that vague, optimistic way where you buy vitamins and say things like, next year might be our year. We've got the usual New York marriage rhythm. 2 careers, too many food delivery receipts, and weekends spent recovering from weekdays. We're not perfect, but I honestly thought we were solid. Like, annoying cute solid. The couple people roll their eyes at because we still hold hands in line at Trader Joe's. Or at least that's what I thought. The first time I noticed something was off was about 3 months ago. It wasn't one big thing. It was a bunch of little ones that didn't add up. Lauren started guarding her phone like it was a state secret. Not in a my job is confidential way, she works in marketing, not the CIA, but in a very specific, very new way. Screen always face down, notifications muted, bathroom trips with her phone in hand. If I walked into the room, she'd angle it away like I was going to steal her banking app. I'm not proud of it, but the first couple times I noticed, I joked, "You texting your secret boyfriend?" She didn't laugh. She did this tight smile and said, "You're so dramatic." And then she started picking fights. Again, not like real issues we should address. More like she was itching for friction. If I left a glass on the counter, "Are you allergic to a sink?" If I got home 10 minutes late, "Must be nice to have no concept of time." If I suggested we watch a show together, "I can't sit through your boring stuff." It was like she'd installed a new personality update and the default setting was irritated. I kept telling myself it was stress. She'd changed departments. I was in the middle of a project that was eating my life. Our schedules were messy. We'd both gained a little weight. You know, adult stuff. The kind that makes you snap. Still, there was this slickness to it. Like she wasn't just annoyed. She was annoyed that I existed in her space. Then came the new routines. Suddenly she was going to the gym after work, which was great in theory, except she never came home sweaty. She'd shower the second she got in like she'd run a marathon, and then she'd immediately need space to decompress. She'd lie in bed on her phone while I reheated leftovers. I asked her about it one night gently. Like, "Hey, I miss you. Is everything okay? It feels like we're not connecting." She rolled her eyes so hard I swear I heard it. "God, you're always making everything a thing. I'm allowed to have time to myself." Okay, fine, I backed off. I told myself, don't be clingy, don't be paranoid. Don't become one of those guys who sees shadows everywhere. And then my company sent me to London. It was a 5-day business trip, Monday to Friday. A client meeting plus some team stuff. I've traveled for work before. Lauren has always been, not super affectionate about it, but normal. A hug, a text me when you land, a joke about bringing her back chocolate. This time when I told her the dates, she said, "Okay," and immediately asked, "So you'll be gone like all week?" Her tone wasn't worried. It was almost bright, like someone asking if the restaurant is still doing happy hour. I noticed it, but I still didn't want to be the guy who spirals over tone. The weekend before I left, she was weirdly energetic. Cleaning, reorganizing, lighting candles. At one point, she bought a new set of bedsheets. Not cheap ones either, like the fancy hotel feel kind. I remember thinking it was oddly timed, but I was also like, great, adult nesting. Good sign. She even suggested we go out for dinner Saturday night and acted almost like her old self. Laughing, teasing me, touching my arm. And in my head I was like, see, you're overthinking, you've been stressed, she's trying, this is fine. Sunday night I packed while she watched some reality show. She kept glancing at me, smiling. I thought it was sweet. Looking back, I feel like the dumbest man in New York City, which is impressive because this place has millions of us. Monday morning, I left for JFK before sunrise. She hugged me at the door, quick but firm, and said, "Text me when you get there." Then she added, "Don't forget your adapter, and try not to drink too much. You get annoying when you're jet-lagged." That last part was a little mean, but whatever. That's just her sometimes. The flight was brutal. You know that special kind of tired where your bones feel dusty. I landed, got through Heathrow, checked into the hotel and sent her the "I'm here" text. She replied fast, "Good, have fun. Don't work too hard. Have fun, not miss you, not love you, just have fun." Again, I told myself I was reading into it. The first day was meetings, then a team dinner. I was wired and foggy at the same time. When I got back to my room, I FaceTimed her like we always do when I'm away. No answer. I tried again. No answer. I texted, "You awake?" Nothing for like 30 minutes, which isn't insane, except she usually responds quick. Finally, she wrote, "In shower, talk tomorrow." Okay, sure, time difference. Maybe she's tired. Tuesday was similar. Work all day, quick pint with coworkers, back to hotel. I called around 10 p.m. London time, which is 5 p.m. in New York. She answered this time, but her energy was off. Too loud, too cheerful, like she'd had a couple drinks. The lighting was dim and she was in our bedroom, but the angle was weird. Like she was holding the phone too close to her face. "Hey," she said, dragging it out. I asked, "Everything okay?" "Yeah, why wouldn't it be?" she snapped, immediately defensive, and then smiled like she hadn't snapped. "I'm just relaxing." In the background, I heard a thump, not super loud but distinct, like a door closing or something bumping furniture. "What was that?" I asked. She waved her hand. "The upstairs neighbor. It's always loud." "We don't have an upstairs neighbor." I actually opened my mouth to say that, and then I didn't, because I didn't want to accuse my wife of lying based on a thump. She spent the rest of the call barely listening, asking superficial questions about London like she was reading a brochure. "Did you see Big Ben? Is it raining? Are you eating fish and chips?" Then she said she was tired and ended it. I stared at the blank screen after, feeling stupidly unsettled, like I'd missed a step walking downstairs. Wednesday is where my gut really started screaming. I got a notification from our building app around noon London time. "Package delivered to Unit 5 billion. We use it for Amazon deliveries, stuff like that. Usually if a package comes, Lauren texts me, "Your thing is here." So I wrote, "Hey, saw a package came. Did you order something?" She replied, "No, probably yours." It wasn't I hadn't ordered anything. I asked, "Can you check what it is?" She didn't answer for hours. Finally, "It's nothing. Wrong delivery," I told them. Nothing. Wrong delivery. No photo. No explanation. And then, around 3 p.m. London time, 10 a.m. New York, I got an email from our building management. "Noise complaint received regarding Unit 5 billion on Tuesday evening. Please be mindful of quiet hours." My stomach dropped so fast I thought I might actually get sick. I forwarded it to Lauren with. She responded almost immediately, "OMG, are you serious? That's ridiculous." I had friends over, like 2 people. They're being dramatic. Friends, 2 people, on a Tuesday night, during quiet hours. In our apartment where she's apparently been so tired she can't FaceTime me. I tried to keep my tone normal. I texted. "Who was over?" She wrote, "Jess and Marissa. We watched a movie." I know Jess, I know Marissa. Neither of them lives close. Both of them have kids. Both of them are the kind of friends who leave by 9:30 because they have school lunches to pack. Also, Lauren doesn't watch movies with friends in the middle of the week. She complains she's too drained to even watch a show with me. It wasn't proof. It wasn't a smoking gun. It was just this pile of details that didn't smell right. So I did something I've never done in our entire relationship. I opened our shared iPad account. We have an iPad at home that we share for streaming and recipes and whatever. It's connected to my Apple ID because I set it up years ago. Normally, I don't monitor anything. I'm not a check your spouse's devices guy. I've always thought if you're at that point, something's already broken. But I was 1,200 miles away, running on bad sleep and bad instincts, and my marriage suddenly felt like a chair missing 2 legs. I went in to find my again, not proud, and I saw the iPad was active the night before. Like, used. Screen time showed it. I clicked into recent activity, and that's when I saw something that made my mouth go dry. A FaceTime call, not with me. A FaceTime call with a contact saved as D. The timestamp was Tuesday night. The same night as the upstairs neighbor thump. The same night as the noise complaint. And I just sat there in my hotel room in London, staring at the little D like it was going to explain itself. I didn't know anyone in our life who goes by just D, and my wife's contact list isn't usually mysterious. I refreshed it like maybe it would change, like maybe I misread it, like maybe D was a glitch. It wasn't. I didn't confront her right away about the FaceTime call. That might sound weak, but honestly, my brain was in full survival mode. I was jet-lagged, halfway across the world, and staring at one vague letter on a screen that had the power to blow up my entire life. I needed more than vibes and gut feelings. I needed something concrete, something that wouldn't let her wiggle out with an eye roll and a "you're imagining things." So I did what any calm, rational adult would do. I spiraled quietly for about 6 hours. I replayed the last few months in my head like a true crime podcast where I was both the narrator and the idiot victim who ignored all the signs. Every late night, every sudden shower, every fight that came out of nowhere. It all started lining up in this awful, neat little row. Around midnight London time, I opened the iPad again. I told myself I was just checking something. That's a lie. I was digging. The iPad is synced to her iMessages. Not perfectly, some stuff doesn't carry over, but enough does. I scrolled back a few days, nothing obvious, group chats, ads, her mom sending too many heart emojis. Then I noticed a thread that looked blank. No name, just a phone number saved with no contact photo. That alone wasn't weird, except the conversation was deleted except for one line. Last night was amazing. No emoji. No context, just that. Timestamp, Tuesday morning, a few hours before she told me she was so tired. My chest actually hurt, like someone had pressed a thumb into the center of it and just held it there. I stared at that message until the screen dimmed. I didn't even know what to think yet. My brain kept trying to protect me by offering alternatives. Maybe it was about a workout. Maybe it was about some stupid inside joke. Maybe amazing meant a movie, but I knew, we all know when we know. Here's the thing about Lauren, she hates being cornered without preparation. If she feels like she doesn't control the narrative, she gets sharp, defensive, mean. I'd seen it when she fought with friends, with coworkers, even with her sister. If I was going to confront her, I needed to do it when she couldn't just hang up, roll over, or disappear. So I waited. Thursday morning, she texted me first for once. "Morning, how's London?" I replied. "Can we talk tonight, like actually talk?" There was a pause, then, "About what?" I wrote. "About us." Another pause, longer this time, then. "You're being vague and it's stressing me out. I have meetings today." I almost laughed. The irony was painful. We agreed to FaceTime that night. When the time came, I sat on the edge of the hotel bed, hands clenched so tight my fingers hurt. I answered when she called. She looked good, too good. Hair done, makeup on, wearing a top I like that she never has occasion to wear anymore. That alone made something ugly twist in my stomach. "Hey," she said, smiling like everything was normal. "You look tired." "I am," I said. "We need to talk." Her smile flattened. "Okay." I didn't ease into it. I didn't soften it. I didn't ask questions that would let her steer. I said, "Who is D?" She blinked, once, twice. Then she laughed, actually laughed. "Oh my God," she said. "Are you serious right now?" "Yes," I said. "Very." She shook her head, exasperated. "This is what you wanted to talk about. I can't believe you're doing this from another country." "Doing what?" "Accusing me of stuff based on nothing." "Then explain the FaceTime call," I said. "Explain the deleted messages. Explain the noise complaint. Explain why you lied about having an upstairs neighbor." Her jaw tightened. "Wow, so you're spying on me now?" That was her move. Flip it. Make me the bad guy. "I saw a FaceTime call on the shared iPad," I said. "I didn't hack anything, it's right there." She crossed her arms. "D is a coworker, Daniel, we had a group call." "Then why is he saved as D?" "Because that's how I saved him," she snapped. "Why are you interrogating me like this?" "And the message that said last night was amazing?" I asked. She opened her mouth, then closed it, just for a second, but I saw it. The delay, the scramble. That could mean anything, she said. You're jumping to conclusions because you're insecure. Insecure. There it was. I felt my voice shaking now, no matter how hard I tried to keep it steady. Lauren, please. Just be honest with me. She sighed dramatically and rubbed her temples. Fine, you want honesty. I've been unhappy for a while, you've been distant, you're always working. You barely notice me anymore. That one landed because it wasn't entirely untrue. But it also wasn't an answer. So you cheated? I asked. Her eyes flashed. I did not cheat. But, but nothing, she said. I'm allowed to have friends. I'm allowed to talk to people. You're not here. Were you alone Tuesday night? I asked. She hesitated again. Then no, Jess and Marissa were here. You swear? Yes, she said too fast. I swear. That was the moment something inside me cracked, not exploded. Just cracked. Like a glass with a hairline fracture you don't notice until it leaks everywhere. We ended the call with nothing resolved. She said I was paranoid. I said I needed space to think. She told me not to ruin everything over imaginary stuff. I didn't sleep at all that night. Friday morning I had my last meeting. I barely remember it. My mind was elsewhere, replaying her face, her pauses, her tone. I booked an earlier flight home without telling her. I told myself it was just because I wanted answers in person. That was lie number one I told myself. Here's sudden event number one, and it still feels unreal even typing it. While I was waiting at Heathrow, I got a call from our neighbor, Mrs. Feldman, the retired woman across the hall who waters everyone's plants when they're away. She never calls me. I answered, confused. Hi. Her voice was hesitant. I hope I'm not overstepping, but I thought you should know. There's been a man coming in and out of your apartment while you're gone. Everything went very quiet around me, like the airport noise dropped out. A man? I asked. Yes, she said. Tall, dark hair, I've seen him twice. Late at night, he uses your spare key. My vision actually tunneled. Are you sure? I'm sure, she said gently. I thought maybe he was family, but it didn't feel right. I'm sorry. I thanked her. I don't remember how. My hands were shaking so badly I almost dropped my phone. So yeah, that was it. That was the confirmation I didn't want but desperately needed. When I landed in JFK that evening, I didn't text Lauren. I took a cab straight home. I walked into our apartment expecting chaos. Instead, it was spotless. Too spotless. Candles lit. The fancy sheets on the bed. Like she'd staged it. She came out of the bedroom when she heard the door. Her face went pale. You're home early, she said. And behind her in the hallway mirror, I saw a men's jacket hanging on the hook we use for guests. A jacket I had never seen before. I stood there staring at that jacket like it might explain itself if I gave it enough time. Lauren followed my eyes, then visibly flinched. Not confused, not surprised, just caught. Oh, she said quickly, stepping in front of it like her body could block my vision. Don't, I said. My voice sounded strange to me, like it was coming from another room. Just don't. There was a long, awful silence where we both just stood there. The candles flickered. The apartment smelled like some citrusy cleaning spray she only uses when she's trying to make a point. Everything felt staged, like a set built to collapse. She crossed her arms. You didn't tell me you were coming back early. I know, I said. That was on purpose. Her eyes narrowed. So you could sneak in and ambush me. Ambush you? I laughed, sharp and humorless. Lauren, there is a stranger's jacket hanging in our hallway. She rolled her eyes, actually rolled them. You're being dramatic. That did it. Something in me snapped, not violently, not loudly, but completely. Mrs. Feldman called me, I said. Her face drained of color. I kept going before she could interrupt. She told me about the man coming over, using our spare key, late at night. So before you lie to me again, I just want you to know I already know. For a second I thought she might finally drop the act, cry, sit down, say my name the way she used to when things were serious. Instead, she scoffed. Unbelievable, she said. So now the neighbors are spying on me too. Stop, I said louder now. Just stop. Who is he? She turned away from me and started fiddling with the candles, blowing one out too hard so wax splattered. You're making this into something it's not. Then say his name, I said. Just say it. She didn't turn around. It's not like that. There it was, the phrase everyone dreads. I walked over and picked up the jacket before she could stop me. It was heavy, expensive, not my size. I checked the inside pocket, half expecting nothing, half expecting everything. There was a wallet. She spun around. "What are you doing?" I ignored her and opened it. "Driver's license." "New York. Name Daniel Harper, D," I said quietly. She lunged for the wallet. "Give that back." I stepped away. "So he's not just a coworker you talk to sometimes." Her face twisted with anger. "You had no right." "No right," I cut in. "No right to know why my wife had another man in our bed while I was in another country working." She froze. That silence, that one was different. It wasn't strategic. It wasn't rehearsed. It was guilty. "I didn't say that," she said finally, weakly. "You don't have to," I said. "The sheets, the jacket, the lies." "You think I'm stupid?" She threw her hands up. "Fine, you want the truth. Yes, Daniel has been here." "How long?" I asked. She shrugged, literally shrugged. "A few weeks." "A few weeks," I repeated. "While we were trying," she winced. "Don't do that." "Do what?" "Make me the villain," she snapped. "This didn't happen in a vacuum." That was her second favorite move, rewrite history. "So this is my fault?" I asked. "I didn't say that," she said quickly. "But you weren't exactly present. You stopped trying. You took me for granted." I laughed again, this time bitter. "I took you for granted. I flew back from London early because I thought my marriage was falling apart. And you proved you don't trust me," she shot back. I stared at her. "You had another man in our apartment. After you left," she yelled. "After months of feeling invisible. Using our spare key," I said. "Sleeping in our bed." She looked away. "It just happened." I felt sick. "Did you plan it? Did you know he'd be here while I was gone?" "No," she said too fast. "I mean, he knew you'd be away, but," I said. "But it wasn't like that at first," she said. "We were just talking. He listened to me." There it was, the classic script. "So you lied," I said. "Every time I asked. Every time I gave you an out." She snapped back. "I didn't lie. I just didn't tell you everything." I sat down on the couch because my legs suddenly didn't feel like they worked. "That's lying." She stayed standing, pacing now. "You don't understand how lonely I've been." "I was lonely too," I said quietly. "And I didn't bring someone else into our marriage." She stopped pacing and looked at me like I'd personally offended her. "You're acting like this is some huge betrayal." I looked up at her. "What would you call it?" She opened her mouth, then closed it. Then she did something that still stings more than the discovery itself. She shrugged again. "I don't know." A mistake, like ordering the wrong drink." I stood up slowly. "Did you tell him you're married?" She scoffed. "Of course." "Did you tell him you loved him?" Her silence answered that one. I felt this deep, aching sadness settle in. Not rage, not shock, just grief. For the woman I thought I married, for the life I thought we were building. "Where is he now?" I asked. She hesitated. "He left this morning." "For good?" I asked. She shrugged again. "I told him you were coming back." "So he'll be back," I said. She didn't deny it. I grabbed a duffel bag from the closet and started throwing clothes into it. Not neatly, just grabbing. "What are you doing?" she asked, alarmed now. "I'm leaving," I said. "I can't be here." "You're overreacting," she said. "We need to talk this through." "We've been talking," I said. "You've been lying." She followed me to the bedroom. "So that's it, you're just giving up." I turned to her. "You gave up first." She crossed her arms again, defensive. "If you walk out, don't expect me to just be here waiting." I nodded. "I don't." As I zipped the bag, sudden event number 2 happened, one I didn't see coming at all. There was a knock at the door, 3 sharp knocks. Lauren and I froze. She went pale. "He's not supposed to." I dropped the bag. "You told him I was back," she swallowed. "I told him maybe." The knocking came again, louder this time. I walked to the door before she could stop me. When I opened it, Daniel stood there, tall, confident, wearing a different jacket than the one in our hall. He looked at me, then at Lauren behind me. "Oh," he said. "You must be." I cut him off. "Get out." He raised his hands. "Look, man, I didn't know." "Yes, you did," I said. "She told you." Lauren stepped forward. "This is not helping." I turned to her, incredulous. "You're worried about helping him." Daniel shifted awkwardly. "I'll go." "You should," I said. He left without another word. The door clicked shut. Lauren stared at the door for a long moment, then looked at me with pure anger. "You embarrassed me," I stared back. "You embarrassed yourself." I picked up my bag and walked out, leaving the candles burning behind me. I didn't go far at first. I walked until my legs burned and my thoughts got too loud to ignore. Astoria at night is usually comforting to me. The bodega's still open, the hum of cars, the feeling that life keeps moving even when yours stalls out. That night it felt like I was walking through someone else's neighborhood. I ended up at my brother Mark's place in Long Island City. I hadn't called ahead. I just showed up with a duffel bag and a face he took one look at and said, "Okay, you're staying." I didn't tell him everything that night. I said enough. She cheated. I caught her. I couldn't stay. He didn't ask questions. He handed me a beer, ordered takeout, and let me sit there in silence like a person who just come back from something awful. That first night away from the apartment was brutal. I didn't sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw Lauren's face when I said Mrs. Feldman's name, or the way she'd shrugged when I asked if she loved him, or Daniel standing in my doorway like he belonged there. The worst part wasn't even the images. It was the disorientation, the feeling that I'd been living in a version of reality that no longer existed. Like someone had quietly swapped my life out while I wasn't looking. The next morning, Lauren started texting. At first it was tame. "Can we please talk like adults?" I didn't mean for it to blow up like that. I didn't sleep at all. I didn't respond. Then it shifted. "So you're really just abandoning me? I guess 9 years means nothing to you. You're acting like I committed some unforgivable crime." That one made my hands shake. By day 3, the tone changed again. "I miss you. I'm sorry, okay? We can fix this if you just stop punishing me." I still didn't respond. Not because I was trying to be dramatic. I just didn't trust myself to say anything that wouldn't either explode or collapse. Every message felt like a hook trying to pull me back into a version of the story where this was just a rough patch, not a line crossed. I took time off work. I told my boss I had a family emergency, which felt accurate without being specific. I spent my days pacing, scrolling, rereading old messages between Lauren and me like they were artifacts from a different marriage. I noticed things I hadn't before. How often I'd been the one to apologize, to smooth things over, to say, "It's fine," when it wasn't. The sadness came in waves, not dramatic sobbing sadness. Quiet, heavy sadness. The kind where you sit on the edge of the bed and just stare at your hands because you don't know what else to do with yourself. I kept thinking about the version of Lauren I fell in love with. The one who used to leave me notes in my lunch bag. The one who cried at dog commercials. I couldn't reconcile her with the woman who told another man, "Last night was amazing," while I was thousands of miles away. About a week after I left, she showed up at Mark's place. I hadn't told her where I was, but she figured it out. She always was good at connecting dots when it served her. I opened the door and there she was, eyes red, hair pulled back, wearing the jacket I bought her for our anniversary 2 years ago. The sight of it hit me harder than I expected. "Please," she said, "just let me talk to you." Against my better judgment, I did. We sat at opposite ends of Mark's couch. She cried, actual tears this time. She told me she felt lost, that she'd made a terrible choice, that Daniel meant nothing, that she'd already cut it off. I asked calmly, "Did you cut it off before or after I came home early?" She hesitated. "After." "Did you tell him you loved him?" She looked down. "I don't know what I felt." That was answer enough. I asked if she would have told me if I hadn't caught her. She didn't answer that either. At one point she reached for my hand and I pulled away without thinking. The look on her face, hurt, offended, made something click in me. She was still centering her pain, still measuring this by how uncomfortable it was for her. "I need you to understand something," I said. "I didn't just lose trust. I lost the future I thought we were walking toward together." She nodded, but I don't think she really heard me. She left eventually, saying, "I'll give you space, but don't take too long. I can't live in limbo." That line stuck with me, the audacity of it, as if I was the one creating uncertainty. The following weeks were about survival. I leaned on my brother more than I ever have. I told a couple close friends the truth and was surprised by how much relief there was in saying it out loud. I started therapy, which I highly recommend even if you think you're handling it fine. Turns out I wasn't. Lauren continued to text, apologies mixed with blame, hope mixed with pressure. One day she'd say, "I'll do anything," and the next she'd say, "You weren't exactly perfect either." That back and forth exhausted me. One night, after a particularly rough session with my therapist, I realized something simple and devastating. Even if I stayed, I would never feel safe in that marriage again. I'd always wonder who was on the other end of her phone. I'd always question late nights, business trips, friends. Love isn't supposed to feel like surveillance. I met Lauren one last time at a coffee shop near our place. Neutral territory, public. I told her I wanted a separation. Not as a threat, not as leverage, as a fact. She reacted exactly how you'd expect. Tears, anger, accusations. "You're throwing everything away. People make mistakes. You're not even trying." I told her I was trying to choose a life where I didn't have to doubt my own reality. She called me cold. Maybe I was, or maybe I was just done bleeding. We're in the process of dividing things now. It's awkward, painful, sometimes surreal. I still miss her sometimes, or at least who I thought she was. But I don't miss the version of myself who ignored his gut to keep the peace. It's been a few months since I walked out of that apartment with a duffel bag and a head full of static. The dust hasn't completely settled, but it's no longer a storm, more like a heavy fog that lifts a little more each day. The separation is moving forward. Paperwork, logistics, dividing up a life into bullet points and boxes. Who keeps what? Who pays which bill? It's strange how clinical it all feels compared to how emotional the actual break was. Love ends in spreadsheets. No one warns you about that. Lauren and I don't talk much anymore. When we do, it's brief and transactional. She still tries, sometimes, to rewrite the story. She'll say things like, "We both made mistakes," or, "If you had fought harder, maybe we could have survived this." Early on, those words messed with me. They made me question myself. Now they mostly just make me tired. Here's something I didn't expect. The anger faded faster than the sadness. Rage burns hot but short. Grief lingers. It shows up in stupid places, like reaching for my phone to send her a meme, or passing the bakery where we used to get Sunday pastries, or finding one of her earrings in the couch cushions at Mark's place that somehow made its way into my bag. For a while, I missed her laugh. Then I realized I missed feeling chosen. There's a difference. Therapy helped me untangle that. It also helped me see how much of myself I'd slowly folded down to fit into the marriage. I'd convinced myself that being easygoing was the same as being healthy. That avoiding conflict was kindness. That trusting someone meant ignoring your instincts when they whispered that something was wrong. If I'm being honest, my gut knew before my brain did. Way before London, before the jacket, before D, I just didn't want to believe it because belief would have required action, and action would have meant risk. One thing I want to be clear about, especially if anyone reading this is in a similar place. This didn't happen because I traveled for work, or because I wasn't fun enough, or because marriages naturally get dull. Those things are excuses people use when they don't want to own their choices. Cheating. Yeah, I'm using the word now because that's what it was, isn't an accident. It's a series of decisions, each one a chance to stop, each one ignored. I've replayed the confrontation 1,000 times in my head. Things I wish I'd said differently. Moments I wish I'd handled with more composure. But I don't regret leaving, not for a second. Staying would have meant accepting a version of love that came with constant doubt. And that's not love, that's endurance. I'm slowly rebuilding. I got my own place, smaller, quieter mine. I started going to the gym again, not out of revenge or self-punishment, but because it feels good to move my body without trying to prove anything. I've reconnected with friends I didn't realize I'd drifted from. Turns out people show up when you let them. Dating is a thought, not a reality yet. I'm not rushing it. I want to know who I am outside of being someone's husband before I become anything else. As for Lauren, I hope she figures her stuff out. I genuinely do. I don't hate her. I just don't trust her, and that matters more. If I could give advice to anyone reading this, it would be this. Pay attention to patterns, not promises. Words are easy. Consistency is not. If your partner makes you feel small, confused, or like you're constantly questioning your own perceptions, that's not normal friction. That's a warning. And if you ever find yourself halfway across the world, staring at a single letter on a screen, feeling your entire life tilt, listen to that feeling. It's not paranoia. It's clarity trying to get your attention. I didn't lose everything. I lost an illusion. And in the long run, I think that might be the best thing that could have happened to me.